Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to this week's edition of the WBB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Mike Sullivan, joined for the first time this season by head coach of the Hofstra women's basketball program, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. Great day.
Coming off a good run for your team last year. You advanced to the CAA semifinals before you fall to Delaware. Of course, Shantae Evans, Candace Bonner gone from this version's team. But before we talk about this season, just a look back on a year ago. What will you remember about last season?
Well, the shift in our goals. We had a really tough non-conference. And had to kind of refine ourselves in the middle of the season. Refine our identity a little bit. Outside of what Shantae and Candace Bonner were bringing to us, we had to, give a little bit more support and help with a sophomore point guard from Adriana. I thought she really started playing better, and so it was great. So we reshifted our goals, focused on doing something that hadn't been done in Hofstra history, is getting to a semifinal game, and so I was proud of them to be able to stay positive and finish out strong and get 14 games. And we wanted a lot more than that, but again we had one of the toughest non-conference schedules. So I was proud of them.
A big storyline with this team, especially early on, is going to be moving on from Shantae and playing without her. How can you put into words what you miss without her?
It is. You have that consistency, and I think that is hard to find, in anyone's level. We're all looking for consistency, whether you're in the professional level, whether you're, in college, all the way down to high school. You're looking for that consistent player that can bring it night after night. So I think that's probably the number one, who's going to be that consistent scorer. And so it kind of allows you to do things by committee a little bit more. You have your big three with the two seniors and Adriana, so Annie Payton, Nao, and Adriana. So, but it is that. So the consistency of Shantae, the defensive prowess that Candace Bond brought, and just doing things a lot more collectively.
So entering this season, a couple of preseason all-conference second-teamers, Adriana Thomas and Anma Anyuku, look to lead your team. What growth do you need from them to have it be a successful season?
Well, just the biggest statement for Anma Anyuku is that she has to be consistent. She can't fade out of the picture and leave it up for Shantae to pick up. If she had a pretty breakout junior season. If you look at her statistics, you see, there the bulk of the year she was averaging double figures. And so, she has that ability. She knows she has that ability, and shot 51%. She needs to be shooting the basketball. She's had good scrimmages, really good one this last weekend. So it's just consistency out of her, a steady Eddie leadership out of Adriana, putting more points on the board, but certainly being steady. And then you'll see, a new and improved Annie Payton. I think she had one of her best seasons ever, and I think that this year could be a big year for her.
Offensively, without Shantae Evans, in terms of your system, how will things change without her in the lineup?
Well, what it does is that we, when it's good, it's been really doing well because we share the ball, and so, you're definitely, we just got to continue working on that. We just got to slow it down one notch, and we have some great inside help with Ruth Sherrill and Alo Ediforoki, the freshman, and so we see the benefits that they can provide for us, and so it just allows us to we need to be more patient. We need to share the ball a little bit more and play it that way, and it's been looking pretty good.
Have you had discussions with Anma Anyuku about how defenses will approach her this season without Evans? She looks to be one of the focal points for her.
Yeah, it's given, but the best part about Anma Anyuku is that it's hard to put her on the scouting report because the thing she does is it's really the same measurability as it was with Shantae Evans. With Shantae, you try to keep her off the offensive board. You send 2 or 3. AO is hard to catch, and I think that's what makes her so deadly is she's really hard to scout. So I just want her to keep doing what she's doing with that, and take the punches as they come. And we'll have a little bit of I've been saying a little bit of short-term pain as we're feeling our way around without Shantae Evans, but we can have long-term gain if we can stay together.
That 5-player freshman class you had last year are now all sophomores. Asa Jackson had a good year a year ago. They all bring a little bit of different things to the court. What are your expectations for that group this year?
Big shoes to fill. Waiting for them to continue to find their role. Each one brings, like you said, different things to the table. So we've seen great things out of Sydney Epps, Alexis Carter, and Asia. Expecting really big things out of both of them. Performing night after night and giving us a lot more. And then Deanna Thomas-Palmer is getting back in the lineup as well. So, they've got to start stepping up and not being a role group. And as they find their niche and as they get more games under their belt, I think you're going to continue to see a lot more growth.
Ruth Sherrill and Deanna Thomas-Palmer in particular didn't play a lot of minutes a year ago, but going to have to step in and take on some of that rebounding aspect that you lose without Shantae Evans. How ready are they for that role?
Yeah, I think that is a lot more game experience. I mean, I think we've played these two scrimmages. We've had a lot of blue-white, inter-squad against each other, but, it's really what the non-conference schedule is for, is, a lot of film from the scrimmages now, but then certainly a lot of, quick growth. I mean, we're going to get exposed early, so, they need to find them, they need to make contact, they need to go after those rebounds, and they need to bring what they bring to the table so well. Ruth is mobile, she runs well. You guys know some of the strengths, so she needs to play to her strengths. That's what's kind of neat with this team. We have a lot of different lineups.
3-player freshman class: Krista Luciano, Kelly Loftus, Iloeta Firioki. What can you tell us about them?
Great group. I mean, had a great backing up a super class that we had with these sophomores to back up another outstanding freshman crew, with the addition of Jaquel King-Gilchrist as well. So we've got, these 4 newcomers that are talented, they're really skilled, and they just need to get a little bit of, game experience and playing at this level and this tempo and all these kind of things. But, they have the skill set for sure.
Look at your schedule. You mentioned the non-conference, very difficult a year ago. Supposed to be a lot of similar things this year. BC, Virginia Tech, road games, Harvard, St. Joe's, list goes on and on. How do you expect it to be?
Yeah, is that door the way out right now? When is it going to end? No, look, I mean, your team's, why did you do these things that you do? I mean, last year was a tough pill to swallow at times when we were wondering why. So let's gain from this. These kids were exposed to some high level teams, and and now you're going to be exposed again. I mean, going away to Robert Morris, who's #1 in their conference. They've got everybody bagged. They have Artemis Spano, who's a talented player from Greece that can post up. She's finesse. She's like she's built like a male NBA player, seriously, because she's so long, and she averaged 15.6 rebounds. So, we don't really have a lot to rest our heads on right now. So, but we do this to to be able to play at that level and to really expose ourselves early and be ready for conference.
The conference, the Colonial, is in an interesting state right now. A lot of star power lost from a year ago. James Madison's the favorite, but after them, it looks like an open field. What do you expect from the CAA this year?
Well, I mean, that's it. You lost some of your big guns, but that just means kind of back in the day. I've been in this league long enough now to remember what it was like before Landale Dunn or life before Dawn Evans. So I do remember what that life was like, and it didn't make it any easier because it's a very well coached league, night after night with much more scouting plans and people tweaking things. And when you're that well coached, they're going to have their teams prepared, and they're going to be, coaching and dealing with what they have at home, and making it more difficult for all of us because it's not the big 3 on this scatter report or this on this. So it is. So I remember life before that, and like I said, it wasn't any easier then. I think we're getting quality coaches, with the new coaches that have come into the league, bringing different looks and different styles. So it is going to be a challenge, but it's what makes it fun. It makes it fun lining up against really top, good competition, and teams are going to be more team-centered, I think. A lot more team-centered.
You mentioned Robert Morris a little bit. You open up with them on the road this Friday, home opener a week from tomorrow against Boston College. But tell us a little bit more about Robert Morris and what challenges you expect.
Yeah, their record doesn't precede their ability level from last season, I can tell you that. So, they were 7-22. So, it's a new year with now they have a senior leadership of one of the best players in that conference. And then they have a lot of really good freshmen, a lot of kind of a transfer JUCO from Arizona Community College, I think, that was out last year, who is just a banger and strong. And then have another freshman point guard from Greece that I think is getting a lot of minutes. She averaged 18 points in Greece. So she, again, finesse and very skill set. So they're going to be different. They lose a little bit of height that they have, but they play well in their system. They run a lot of sets, and they try to get the right person to score. Which is Artemis. I mean, she was like 19 and 15 last year. So, and she can score anywhere. I mean, she spots up on the block, and she's about 30%. Scored about 30% of her scoring from there. So. And she's deadly. So you can't sleep on her, and you can't even wait for the play to materialize with her because she's going to break it down. So.
Finally, Coach, you got 2 preseason all-conference players. You only picked 6 in the conference. What's going to be the most important aspects of your game this season to prove people wrong in that prediction?
Every coach always says this. What kind of team are you in February? Are you staying together? You're not separating, and what are we learning along the road? Not pointing fingers, and and just really having a healthy self-evaluation. Because we have a fun, exciting, passionate group, And, one of the officials, I've been here for 8 years, and one of the lead officials this past weekend, just could not stop talking about the passion that this team exudes on the floor. So, that makes it a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and you can handle some of the hard knocks as we're growing. So we just got to keep that passion, we got to keep that accountability onto each other, and be able to, continue with our vision, because, it is tough, and people are rooting against you, and it's where you are, but I like to be in this position, and let's just fight our way, to the top and be in the right spot come into February 1st of March.
The Hofstra women's basketball team opens up the 2013-2014 season this Friday on the road against Robert Morris. For head coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey, I'm Mike Sullivan. Thanks for tuning in to the WB Mason Coaches Report.